I'm Taylor from PrepScholar, and I'm here to give you some helpful tips on the TOEFL. There are 6 questions on the speaking section of the TOEFL. Today we're going to be talking about the 4th question on the speaking section. This question always has the same format. We read a brief passage about a topic, then we hear a short section of a professor's lecture about the topic, and then we are asked a question. So, there's a lot for us to do on this question, but don't worry. Each of these tasks, reading, listening, and finally speaking, is easily manageable, and we're going to give you a little advice on each one of them. Let's begin with the reading. This will be one paragraph, which we will have 45 seconds to read. Normally, the reading passage will provide a definition of a term, like the name of an artistic movement or a scientific concept. You don't need to remember every detail of the reading passage, but make sure that you understand the definition of the term. That will be useful when you speak your response. You'll only get to see this passage once. If you have time, take down some notes to use in your response. After the reading, you will hear a short recording. The recording will be a section of a lecture about the same topic as the reading. Often the recording will give examples of the term or the idea introduced in the reading. Here's an example. Let's say the reading provided a definition of marsupials. That's a kind of mammal that lives mainly in Australia. The recording might then give a couple of examples of marsupials. For example, the first part might describe kangaroos, and the second part might describe koalas. What should you do when listening to the recording? You should take notes. Specifically, you should take notes on how the topics in the recording are related to what you have read in the passage, because you can be pretty sure that's what the question will be about. After all of that, you will get your question. For example, your question might be something like this. Explain what a marsupial is, using examples provided in the lecture. If you have been following our advice so far, you should be prepared to answer this question. Your notes should tell you what a marsupial is and why kangaroos and koalas are examples of marsupials. Now, it's time to actually give your answer. You'll have 60 seconds to give your answer. That's not a lot of time, so be careful how you use it. We suggest that you use 20 seconds to define the term from the reading, 20 seconds to describe one example from the recording, and then the other 20 seconds to describe another example from the recording. You don't want to use up too much time or too little time, so try practicing at home with a timer. If you find you have a little time left over, that's all right. Just add a brief conclusion. It's always better to have too much time than to run out of time. That's all you need to do. On this question, you don't need to give your opinion. As long as you explain the facts from the reading and recording correctly, you can give an excellent answer. In fact, it's all right if you don't remember everything from the reading and the recording. Remember, the point of this part of the TOEFL is to evaluate your ability to speak English. So, focus on speaking as well as you can. What you say is important, but it's also important how you say it. So, relax, take a breath, and speak as clearly and confidently as you can. So that's how to answer the question 4 on the speaking section of the TOEFL. There's a lot to do on this question, but if you take it step by step as we've explained here, you can give a great answer. If you really want to raise your speaking score, try the world's best TOEFL preparation course, PrepScholar TOEFL. Visit us now at TOEFL.PrepScholar.com. Thanks for listening, and best of luck on the TOEFL.